Jonathan is a first-time caller out of Georgia. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, the reason I'm calling, at first when I started listening to you, I totally disagreed and didn't like what you were saying. But the more I listened to you, the more I in the back of my mind, I said, man, this guy's right. And I really didn't want to admit to it. And, you can go by what other people say, but until you find out for yourself, I think you're really blind to the fact.
Yeah, that's right. And why didn't you want to agree with me?
Because I was brainwashed by what others were saying, like some of our supposedly black leaders, instead of me finding out for myself.
Yes.
So I agree with you on a lot. I'm a black man, and black people don't come together but for two things: to get and for barbecue. That's it.
Yep.
And,
Absolutely.
And the thing about it is, in my neighborhood, there is no one out here showing these black guys how to live and how to do things. And it's sad to me to see that. I get up and go to work every day, but they look at me like I may be like a punk, but they looking up to the drug dealers.
Yep. Yes.
The guys that ride on the big rims, the stupid stuff. They spend all their time on social media, and they don't know how to be men.
And that's because their fathers and mothers have failed them, and it's a horrible mistake to look to a leader. Adult people should be thinking and doing for themselves. They should not have other people leading them. And so most black people are being led by the children of the lie, the NAACP, Barack Obama and others, Jesse Jackson. They're not thinking for themselves, and that's why this is happening.
And I mean, I apologize for what I was thinking about you because I was going by what others were saying, but the more I listened to you, I really didn't want to admit to about man, this guy know what he's talking about. And
apology accepted, no problem. I understand.
The one thing I will disagree a little bit on is racism to an extent. My grandfather, he was living in West Virginia. He was born in 1905, and he was older. He was 40. This is the story my mother, my grandmother, and my uncles used to tell me. He came down to Georgia because he supposedly looked at a white lady in a certain way or something happening. And in that town he came from, it was a custom.
Hold on for me, Jonathan. Hold on. I'll let you finish that point when I come back. Out of Georgia, first-time caller. Jonathan, go ahead. Finish your point about your grandfather and racism.
Yeah. It's supposedly, he was born in 1905, somewhere in that area. And from my understanding, he was in a town in Virginia, West Virginia, somewhere in that state.
Yes.
And he supposedly said something or looked at somebody white in the wrong way, and they took it as disrespect or whatever. So it was a custom in that town back then where black people just came up missing or they got lynched or beat or something. They got ran out of town. So he knew in his mind he couldn't stay. So he took up on his own, his family. He supposedly he had a wife and kids earlier. He just up and left before night and came down to where we at now. And he just had to leave his life behind. Now, I call that racism. Now, it was known that how things were back then. And that's what I want to say.
Yeah, I call it evil. I'm a Christian, and my great grandfather, my mother's father somewhere, was killed in his bed. He ran the plantation. He hired a black man who was fired from another plantation. And the whites from that plantation came over and asked him to get rid of that guy, not to hire him. But my great-grandfather said, no, I'm going to do it anyway. And they came for him one night in the middle of the night, but he had his gun under the bed, and he was able to run them off, according to the story. And then they came back another night, and they were able to kill him because when they came back the second time, his wife had removed the gun from the bed, so from under the bed, underneath the bed, and when he went for it, it wasn't there, so they were able to kill him. And she says she took the gun away because she didn't want him to hurt himself or something stupid. And yet, we call it evil because it's, our battle is a spiritual battle. It's a warfare between good and evil, right versus wrong. So it's either right or wrong. And the children of the lie made up this word racism. The so-called civil rights leaders, the liberals of the Democratic Party, the godless white liberals, because they use that word to keep blacks angry at white people and then keep whites afraid in order to take the white people's stuff away from them. And so it makes whites feel guilty. But if you see it for what it is, it's either right or wrong. So what happened to your great-grandfather was wrong. That was evil. Then you could solve the problem. But if you tell this lie that is based on color, you're never going to be able to solve the problems, because how are you going to prove that someone is about color? Whenever you have anger, you judge. And when you judge, you play God, and so you take action. And it's about the spirit and not about the color.
I agree with that. I want to say this, and I'm gonna be done. A lot of black folks that I know, they always blaming white folks for not achieving stuff. But most of the black folks I know, and I really never wanted to say this, they just sorry. They don't want to do nothing. They lie, they steal, they cheat, and they blame everybody else for where they at.
Yes.
And it hurts me to say that but it's the truth.
We got to tell the truth. Because the so-called leaders don't want black people to tell the truth. They want you down and out so that they can use you. That's why they want to tell you the truth.
Like the other day, I was coming home. These young black guys in the street won't move. And, you almost got to hit them to get in your home.
Yes.
And then you tell the parents want to fight you.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. But look, that's all I wanted to say. Have a good day.
Jonathan, thank you, man. And I'm glad you see what's going on, all right? Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate that. Let me go to Tony out of Washington. Tony, thank you for calling. You're on the air, sir.
Yes, good morning, Jesse. I see you on AT&T UVerse, 1220, Houston, Texas.
Right on. Thank you.
Well, I've listened to you for a while, and I'm 62 years old. I turned 62 February of this year. I was born in 1956. I'm a product of the Great Society. It was just becoming effective as I was a small child. And now, fast forward to present day, I've always voted Democratic. My first presidential Democratic vote was placed to Jimmy Carter. And I voted Democratic ever since. However, I will no longer be a Democratic voter.
Right on. And why not?
Simply because of what's been going on literally in the last 2 years up until today. The Democrats have, I now see, I'm like your former caller that called in. I didn't really want to admit to it, but I can see the writing on the wall now. I didn't see it before.
Are you black?
I am black. I'm a black man. I've been black all my life. I was born in Detroit, born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Went to high school there and everything. I'm about as black as a black man can possibly be. I mean, I just try to speak proper in the King's English. I don't.
There you go.
I don't.
Yeah, you speak like a white man.
I went to public schools when they actually taught you English and grammar.
That's right.
What they don't do today. They don't do that. But anyway, long story short, very quickly, I'm really upset with this immigration thing. The Democrats are literally lying, as you say, and they are lying blatantly about this entire matter. They want to give amnesty and forgiveness to people who commit crimes, but they don't want to do it to black people.
Yep.
They don't want to amnesty a black man or a black woman for a mistake or something that they've done. They don't want to amnesty or forgive an American citizen who may have done something that they shouldn't have, or even done something they didn't mean to. I know the IRS, I didn't file some income taxes. I paid them, but I didn't file for a couple of years, and they socked me with a high fine and everything. I had to pay all that, pay fines and interest. They didn't forgive me. And I've been working and paying taxes in this country since I was 18 years old.
Yep.
18 years old. I've never been on welfare, unemployment compensation, none of that. I've literally worked all my adult life in legitimate tax-paying jobs, always. I'm hoping I can get some Social Security, if there's any left.
Amazing.
I paid into it. But they are trying to replace African Americans in this country with low-wage illegal immigrant voters
Absolutely.
who will vote Democratic, and they are literally practicing ethnic cleansing when it comes to black people in this country who have fought and died and participated in every facet of American livelihood that we possibly can. We were blacklisted in our communities when I was a child. My parents couldn't buy a house because of the redlining. I mean, it was pathetic. They didn't care about giving us amnesty or giving us helping hands or any of those things. They introduced drugs into the community. We can't get vouchers to send our children to quality schools because of the lobbies of the teachers' unions who contribute to the Democrats to keep vouchers out of our hands. But they want to inundate the schools with illegal aliens who don't speak English.
Yep.
And expect the schools to teach them tax-free because every child deserves an education in America if you happen to be illegal.
That's right.
But if you're an American citizen, you cannot get a voucher to send your child to a quality school anywhere you choose to send your school. But the elites of this country can do that.
Yes.
They can do that.
Yeah.
You're right. Gayle King and the rest of them live in gated communities where they don't have to worry about people panhandling in front of their door.
Right.
They don't have to worry about losing their job to people who do not speak English because the employer wants a bilingual employee.
Tony, I got to take a break. I appreciate your call, man. Back in a moment. Amazing. Maurice is a first-time caller out of North Carolina. Maurice, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, good morning. How you doing?
All is well, sir. How are you?
Man, I'm doing just fine. Just wanted to call you, another black man, calling from the great state of North Carolina, combat veteran, and very educated man. But this thing that I see that's going on with Trump and all of this is very disturbing that these folks are not willing to put America first.
Yep.
And I just don't understand that. It's kind of disheartening to see the children, but to see CNN running this stuff back to back with kids crying and going on, it's like they feeding into a narrative just trying to make folks angry.
That's right. But, I have to be honest with you. I don't feel anything when I see the children at the borders because I know that it's all a setup. When those people left their homes, they intentionally brought those kids there to manipulate us to get into the country. And many of them were told to do that. These people are not just getting up on their own and going to the borders. They have been trained and educated what to do. So they're told to bring the children. We can use that and this. And they're told how to say that they're seeking asylum. They're all lying. And we're being...
Yeah, they're all lying.
Yeah.
And then they come and they're asking, and if you let just one across or you give into it, America is going to be in trouble. And they know that. And that's what they're trying to do.
And these people, these Democrats and the media and right-wing Republicans, if they truly cared about the children, how about the American children who are being killed every day by illegal aliens?
That's right. That's right. It just makes sense, and I, too, once was a part of the Democratic lie and believed in the free stuff and take this and take that and, it's your fault, racism and this, that, and the third. You can't have but so much because, of white folks. But that's just a flat-out lie.
Maurice,
it really is. And
you guys are making my day because now the word is getting out to black people.
It is.
And things are going to change.
We thank God for you, Jesse.
And I thank God for you, Maurice. Thank you for calling me, man.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Amazing. Back in a moment.